friends, it's Sarah, the owner and maker behind Multifarious Nature. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you are a new viewer, welcome, and if you're a returning viewer, big welcome back. I'm glad you guys are here for another episode, and it probably won't be a super long one, so just hunker down. I've got myself something to sip on here. It's actually something new that I made. There's a video I found on it was on Instagram, and it was a little reel where she takes pineapple and actually uses the core of the pineapple, and you basically ferment it. So you soak it in water for I think it's 3 days, and then you take that and then you take the juice and you distribute it between sealable jars or bottles, and then you add some juice to it, and then you seal it for another week, and it ferments, and it's all bubbly, and it's really, really good. So that one is a juice that has some, I think, coconut and pineapple flavor to it. And of course there's the pineapple flavor from the ferment as well. It's really good. So I just started doing that last week, and it's very good. And I guess my tummy feels good, but I mean, I've been eating really well, so I don't know if it's that necessarily, but there you go. I want to talk about this cute little sweater that I found. I don't think I've talked about it before. I found it actually at a thrift store. It is a blend. It's like a silk, I think it's silk, cotton. I don't think there's wool in it. But yeah, it has a really neat texture. I think this is can't remember the exact term for this, like a scale, it's not scale stitch, that's not the right term, but it looks really cool. It's kind of a brioche stitch is what it is, a tuck stitch. And I found it at my local thrift store, and I think it was $4 or something. So score. It's got really cute I think it's just stockinette. Yeah, it's just stockinette stitch around the cuff, so it has a cute little rolled cuff, and the same thing on the collar. It's super comfy, super soft, and it was such a find. So always love my chargers from the thrift store. So this is one of those, and yeah, really enjoying it so much. Alright, so as in works in progress, well, I'll talk about those in a second, but I do have a finished object, and I should say mostly finished. I really don't have to weave in the ends much because I did magic knots on it, but you guys will recognize it. Be so excited. My half and half triangles wrap is done. It is complete. It's huge. So, I mean, it's enormous. So, it's so big. It's so big. So, if you're new here, this is using my hand-dyed yarn from Multifarious Nature. This is Kismet, which is a speckled tonal colorway. It's a peachy, primarily a peachy color, and then it has some salmon and little flecks of violet, like lavender in there, and there's even like little pink speckles. And then this color is the other major part of the blanket. I'm using it as a blanket. It's a wrap, but I'm using it as a blanket. And it is, this is my Strawberry Shortcake colorway, which is a tonal, really pretty pink, more nice warm pink. And then again, more Kismet, because I wanted to use up the rest of the Kismet that I had. And then I ran out of that, and so I needed just a touch more of a different color, so I used up some remnants of Cranberry, which I absolutely love this color. It's so cozy. And after knitting with that again, I really want to dye up a sweater's quantity of it, because I would absolutely love to make a sweater out of that color. I think it'll be super flattering and really pretty. So there you have it. And you can probably hear Rory losing her marbles in the background. But it's enormous. I used this on the couch last night when we were watching TV, and I kid you not, it is bigger than I made the habitation throw last year with my Advent, and it is bigger than, I think it was last year. Yeah, last year. It was bigger than my habitation throw. It's can't even fit the entire thing in a shot. I would take a photo of it to show you guys what it looks like entirely, but it definitely looks like a quilt block, a giant quilt block. So I'm excited to make another half and half triangles wrap, and I'll show you. I started another one. Yes, I said I was going to, and I'm not kidding. I cannot help it. I absolutely love it. Okay, so I'm gonna try to ignore my dog, so I'm not gonna yell at her, but she just keeps woofing. She's a woofer. She likes to tell everybody her problems. All right, but it's huge. Here, I'm trying to fold it to show you guys, and it's not folding properly. But this is that massive blanket shawl. So yes, I have my ends to weave in, just the tip ends. I don't really need to weave in the magic knot ones. I'm just gonna cut those off. They should be fine. I'm not worried about it. But yeah, that was my half and half triangles wrap. So probably should talk about the next one that I cast on, because I cast on another one. I have a pile. I'm not even joking when I say pile. There's actually a few more up above. This basket is so heavy, I literally can't just pick it up. So I'm just gonna turn you this way so that you can see the insanity, which is my pile of products. See that? That right here, my friends, is a pile of projects that need to be completed. So they're all in progress, and I don't want to call them unfinished objects because yeah, they're unfinished, but I don't intend to rip them back. They just need to be finished. So yeah, I've got a few. I just started working on other things, and that's part of my problem. And I feel like now that I've made a half and half triangles wrap, I feel like I want to have one of the needles at all times, but I don't think that's very feasible. But I do think this will be another really nice one. I'm going to be using up some remnants of other skeins and some yarn that I haven't been able to use before, and I think it's going to be perfect for this. So I cast it on. I talked about this last week. It's Bond Street. The color is 53% wool, 30% acrylic, and 17% polyamide. And it is Wendy. It's Bond Street Wendy. It's a boucle. As you can see, it's got that nice floofiness. It's really pretty. It's a really pretty color. I don't really wear this color very much. Not that I couldn't, but I just don't really see myself making something with this for myself. I have 3 skeins of it, but I now know what I can make with it, and it is going to become half and half triangles wrap, but it's going to be a blanket again. I just making all the blankets. So this is what it looks like so far. I'm loving it. It took me about a row, or I should say about 2 rows or 3 to get used to the boucle, like working with that, because I kept going through some of the little twists and turns of the fluff and getting kind of caught on it. But it's creating this really beautiful fluffy blanket fabric, and I'm excited to be able to use this as a blanket. So this is the first color, and I'm going to use those 3 skeins up. They're 50-gram skeins, so I think I'll get a decent chunk knit with that, but it's not going to be the whole side. So I'm debating what I want the other color to be. I'm debating if I want it to be cohesive on one side, because this color is Winter's Coming. It's one of my Multifarious Nature colorways. It is very similar in color. It's not the same, but it's very similar, that if I use this, excuse me, on this side, it would have the texture from the boucle, and then it would calm into this, but would have speckling and everything. This has speckling, and you can see there's some of the navy speckles and everything. That would be kind of fun, so that it's more cohesive, and then have the other side be a little more wild, because I have all these other fun ones. So these are remnants from my winter box from Woolbury. This one is one of those colorways. And then this is also one of those colorways. And I might put this between these colors on one side. That way it kind of breaks it up, because I do kind of want this to be separated from the other one, just so that it's more noticed as a different color. I also have my other ball here that came undone, and I still have yet to get it put back into a proper ball. That's what happens. Life gets the best of me. But this is White Pine. This is also a Multifarious Nature colorway. I do have it currently dyed up in the shop. I also have Winter's Coming right here. If you guys are looking more, I do have a couple skeins in the shop. And this one, White Pine, I do have in the shop as well. It's a super beautiful dark green. And then there's like navy bits throughout. This is a variegated. Love it. All right, so those are just some of the colors. I guarantee I'm going to be picking more to add to it. I might add some other fun colors that aren't green, you know, just try to mix it up a little bit. But I kind of like the fact that this is kind of cooler colors and the other one was more warmer colors. I kind of think that's fun to have that variation. But I love this project. I've been working on it kind of all the time. I worked on it after dinner. I work on it for the few minutes in the morning that I knit. And I really mean few minutes now, because my schedule has shifted a little bit. And on my lunch breaks, which have also been shortened this past week just because of what's been going on at work. So yeah, I worked on that primarily this week. I did work on this other one a little bit. I'll talk about the sheep in my life update, because everybody wants to hear about the sheepies. They're so cute. Okay. So I worked on my Straya cardigan. The design is by Andrew Mowry. Oh, my half and half triangles wrap is by Pearl Soho. I don't know if I mentioned that. It's a free pattern. This is not a free pattern. The Straya cardigan by Andrew Mowry is not a free pattern. To pay for it. Okay, this is the right side. So I just worked on it a little bit. I actually finished at the end of a row, so I can show you guys what this looks like properly. But it's kind of around here. I think I still have to do a collar at some point, but right now I'm working from shoulders down, and it's really fun. It's half fisherman's rib, which I love. If you haven't done half fisherman's rib, it's addicting. Be forewarned. Once you try it, you're going to want to do it over and over again. Which is what happened with this project. Same with my half and half triangles wrap. This project is the direct result of making the birch pullover, also by Andrew Mowry, which uses half fisherman's rib, and it's just so squishy and fluffy. I love that sweater. I have worn it so many times already, and I used 100% non-superwash merino. It's already pilling, and I just feel like, yeah, I don't care. I'm going to make something else with it. This is the same type of wool yarn. It's by Old Mill Yarn, and it's 100% non-superwash merino. So super soft and fluffy. I got it last year at Michigan Fiber Festival, or I should say during Michigan Fiber Festival. They Old Mill Yarn opens up their warehouse, and you pay by weight. It is amazing. It's basically bulk discount for yarn. This is an enormous skein, I should say cone of yarn, but the cone was removed, so you just paid for the weight of the wool. That's not the case for all the cones that I purchased, but that one definitely was, and I have it. Let's see if I can make it up this side. Here it is. You can barely tell that I even made a dent in it. This is not much. This is probably less than 100 grams. I'd say it's probably around 50 maybe at the most. I don't even think it's 50 grams. So, yeah, I can probably make 3 sweaters with that amount of wool that's there. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. But then I can use it for like half and half triangles wraps. I use it for so many things. It's a cream. It's kind of it's an odd color. It's a warm cream, but also kind of looks gray. It's one of those colors that I think just goes with everything. So I hope I hope and pray that I don't get a stain on it when I wear it, because that's the one thing I worry about with white stuff or anything cream colored. I feel like I'll spill something on it, like coffee. I can see that happening very easily. But I worked on it just a little bit this week. I didn't move my progress keeper, which I should have. I kid you not, I think I did 2 rows. That's it. So it barely counts, but I did do it. So I'm gonna say I did. So I guess we'll get into the life update end of things. See, I told you guys that we'd move along quickly. No acquisitions. I've been really, really good about not getting acquisitions. Not saying anything against anyone who has, but my goal this year is definitely to work from stash and try to dwindle down that a little bit. We have a project coming up here in the next months, the coming months, that I'll be able to tell you guys about soon. I know I keep talking about it, but yeah. So I can kind of dwindle down my stash a little bit, but I'm working on it, and I'm not putting pressure on myself, but I am trying not to buy more if I can help it. All right, so that's that. So life update, end of things. So sheepies, guys, the sheepies have arrived. They arrived last Saturday. Oh my goodness. They are so stinking cute and fluffy and little. Like, they're little. Bigger than a baby, but they're 9 weeks old. So they're not like tiny. They're bigger than some people expect, though. When I showed my coworkers the photos of them, they're like, wow, those look a lot bigger than I expected. No, to be fair, they don't really have a point of reference to see like the size of them compared to myself. My husband made some videos which are so cute. I wish I could show you guys those. I do not know how to do it from a phone. I can do photos, but uploading a video, I'm not quite sure how to do that. YouTube is not very friendly when it comes to uploading from your phone. I know people do it, but especially if you live in an area where you don't have the best internet service, or phone service for that matter. We live out in the country, you guys. Out in the country. And I love it. But when it comes to trying to do like YouTube stuff, like uploading, it can be a little bit tricky. A little bit. But other than that, these sheep are so sweet. So if you're new, you won't know what I'm talking about. So we actually purchased 3 they're purebred Shetland lambs. They are so sweet. They're ewes, and they are so cute. So I'm better now with their names because I've been calling them by their name all week, so it helps me remember. So Veiled Lady is she's a light gray ewe, and then we have Chanterelle, which is her twin sister. They're all named after mushrooms. So cute. And then the third one is Amanita, and she is such a character. They all have different personalities. Veiled Lady and Chanterelle, their mother was a first-time mother, and she was very protective of them. So they really didn't get much hands-on socializing with humans. So when we got them, they were very, very shy. But they warmed up to us pretty quickly. Very food motivated, but it took I'd say the second day they started to show interest, but the third day for sure, it was like night and day. They would come up to us. They would eat. We have a little bit of sheep feed. Otherwise, we've been giving them their hay, sweetgrass. They've been eating that and loving it, but they actually ate out of our hands. I thought that they would have to first eat the sheep food, and then they'd eat it out of our hands. But no, they would just eat it right out of our hands. No problem. So bizarre. So they're really entertaining. We actually let them out. So it's been about a week. Yesterday it was about a week. And we actually let them out of their little little house for like 15 minutes so that they could explore their pasture, and they actually then followed us back into their little hut after the 15 minutes. And that's just because we're slowly introducing them to the grass because they've been eating the dry grass. You don't want to just full on introduce, I mean, this is what I've been reading. I'm not an expert, but my understanding is you should not just introduce them directly to fresh grass for a long period of time because they can overeat and cause bloat possibly. So what we're doing is we did 15 minutes yesterday. Our goal then today is to do about 30 minutes, just so that way they can get a little more time outside. And they are so cute. They chase each other. They like prance through the air. It is so cute. Or frolic. I guess that is they always say frolicking. I'd call it frolicking. They look so adorable, and they get like these I'd call them like the zoomies. I know dogs get that where they just kind of run. They were chasing each other around their little hut. It was pretty entertaining. I have to say, I could probably sit there for a long time watching them do that, and they're real friendly. And they actually came up to us when we called to them, so that was excellent. So one of the other things I want to do is introduce Amanita because she's the super friendly one. They're all friendly, but like she's really outgoing out of the three of them. So we want to introduce her to a little bell that she'd be wearing, and there's so many reasons for that. One would be to locate them, but it's not going to be that hard to locate them. We only have them on about an acre, so that's not really going to be that difficult. It's more or less the sheep can locate her. They should stay together, but I think that the little bell will keep them together even more. They're very observant. If you've never had sheep, they seem to be extremely observant of each other, and they, of course, are flock animals, so they stay together for safety. So it really is extremely entertaining. Like if one runs, they kind of all go. But it was really interesting to see that the Veiled Lady is I'd say one of the shyest out of all three of them. And she actually, once they kind of walked a little area, she did her own thing and walked forward, and then the others followed her. And so it is interesting to see how they can become more comfortable and then do their own thing. So it's really interesting. And apparently they have a pecking order. Sheep have a pecking order. So these are all the fun things that I've been learning. I'm just going to share it with you. I don't know if it's fully right, but I'm pretty sure that there's something to it. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. And like I said, my schedule's slightly shifted. So every morning this past week, I've been, instead of doing all the knitting that I normally do, which usually isn't that much, I mean, maybe at the most 10 minutes of knitting, I knit for about 5 minutes. And then because I've been doing fasting, so I don't eat breakfast in the morning, I just do lunch and then dinner, and I just don't eat breakfast. So what I've been doing is just doing a little bit of knitting, and then I go outside and go check on the sheep in the morning. I really don't have to give them much because they have a automatic waterer, and just have to watch that to make sure that it's cleared out. But their feed, I always try to make sure that they have plenty at night to get them through the day the next day. So that way it's just a little bit easier because of my schedule. The clothing I wear in the morning and stuff like that, I work in a business casual setting, so I don't want to wear those clothes in with the sheep. I'd rather wear clothes I can get dirty and I don't care about as much. So that's why when I come home in the evening, I spend more time with them then. I'll go in and sit with them. Now that we're letting them out, I'll just go in and sit in the pasture with them and observe them. And yeah, I'm really excited. It's super fun, and it's fun to see their personalities. It's fun that they're interacting with us now, and it's fun to see how they interact with each other. They're very precious little creatures, and I have to say they are. Not that I didn't think they were anyway, because lambs are so cute, but they're just so sweet. So I'm getting an absolute kick out of it, and I will share some photos. Like I said, the video thing's tricky, but I definitely will share some photos with you guys. So we'll get some more photos taken of them, and I will upload those. You will, I think I shared on social media. I think it was on Instagram photos of them as I think I did a couple weeks ago, and they're actually quite a bit bigger than they were a couple weeks ago. They have, I would say, about at least 3 inches of wool on them already, which is impressive to me for the fact that they're so young, but they are born with some wool on them. So it's just amazing how quickly it seems to be growing. I'm sure it's going to grow really, really fast, and then it slows down, which makes sense. I think it's during the winter, the colder months, their wool production tends to slow down. But I could totally be wrong on that. Could totally be wrong. And I know it has something to do with the different temperature and all that kind of good stuff. So it will be interesting to see. I am so looking forward to working with their fleeces. They're beautiful fleeces. I am looking forward to and a little intimidated by learning how to shear them. I do have some blade shears. I showed them in my last video. So that'll be exciting, but so I'm spending a lot of time, one, observing them and everything, but also feeling their body, like feeling the structure of their body, because I want to feel comfortable. I will do it slowly, but I want to feel comfortable when I shear them, and that I feel comfortable with like the shape of the body and how I'm cutting. So the first go around, I guarantee, is probably going to be wonky. That's just the way it goes, right? You have to be bad before you're good, and I'm totally okay with that. I just want to do my very best because I know their first fleece is their softest. It is also their most unique fleece. I don't know if it's like this for all breeds, but for Shetlands in particular, they tend to change color quite a bit. So they may be very colorful and everything as a baby, but then as an adult, their fleece will change. So Amanita is a musket. So the way that works is right now she looks like a light brown sheep, like actually light brown. Not a morit, but she looks like light brown, and then she has a white face with really beautiful markings on her eyes. But when you part her fleece on her body, you can see that it is shifting towards, it looks kind of grayish brown, and that's what her fleece is turning into. And it may, after it grows out, be even lighter the next year. And that's very common for Shetlands, my understanding. So that's what she looks like. And then Veiled Lady is a super light gray. So she's a light gray right now, but when you look and part her wool, she's a very light gray. So it's going to be really interesting. She has some little random speckles of like medium gray, but I think those are going to go away. So it'll be interesting to see if she becomes more solid, which she probably will, from my understanding. And then her sister, Chanterelle, is actually a dark gray Bursaget. So she actually has like speckling, random speckling on her back of light gray. She's really cute. But when you part her wool, she's actually looks like she's like a medium to light gray underneath that. And so she has like dark gray tips on areas. So I'm really curious when that grows out if she's going to then be a solid like medium gray, like light to medium gray. It'll be really interesting to see. I was really excited about their fleece in general because those colors are going to be great. That if I want to dye them, they will take dye beautifully. And then if I leave them natural, they'll just be beautiful natural colors. So very excited about it. But I think that's about it. This video is a typical length right now, so I think we'll wrap it up here. I'd love to hear what you guys are up to. If you have any questions for me, please do leave them in the comments below. I so appreciate everyone's comments, and I do really enjoy interacting with you guys. So for those of you that have commented in past videos, I really appreciate it. And I love that you guys are excited too about the sheep because they're just so much fun. And yeah, definitely not a dull moment with those little sheep. They're characters and they talk to you, and it's interesting to see how they interact. So I'd love to hear what projects you're working on. If you'd like to share that with me, definitely do so as well in the comment below. I just have a little bit more of my one fleece to spin up, and then that spin will be done, which is great because then I want to start another project because that's the last thing I need to do is start another project. It is another Andrea Mowry project. I already talked about it, but it is my, where is it? The Weekender by Andrea Mowry. and I would really like to make that with the hand spun that I'm working with. So we will work on that soon, but I look forward to catching up with you soon. Have a wonderful rest of your week. Take care. Bye.